Today we are going to explain what we did in our previous lectures. So first of all, we have successfully downloaded our Codeigniter setup from the official website of codeigniter.com, and we renamed our project with CRUD ajax. First of all, we set our base URL by going on config folder and config.php file. We have created our CRUD with ajax database with a table name is student, and we have created a students table. What are the fields name of table? std name, email, password, status, and date. These are the fields which we have just created in our not just created in our previous lecture. So id is the primary key and auto increment. So we have created our three fields, a submit button, and in the submit button we set our class name mysubmit.class. Make sure we have also created our external JavaScript file inside our assets folder, which is our custom.js named custom.js file, and we have created our view named home, and we have a single view and single controller named CRUD. So here is our controller, here is our single view which you are seeing now, which you are watching now, and we have just created created a particular table. And so first I'm going to explain this. So these are three fields: a submit button with a class named mysubmit. Whenever someone want to click on this, so here is submit. So this is the ready. Here is a submit button. Whenever someone want to click, we are fetching the informations from these three fields, and we are keeping these three field information inside our emails. We are performing some checking, and we are calling the ajax request, and this is and we are sending our these three fields from our CRUD controller and this method with these values. Make sure add user method. So here is your CRUD controller, here is your add user method. We are sending these three values from our JavaScript or jQuery, and we are receiving these three values here. Make sure before is receiving these three values, we are checking either it's the Codeigniter it's a ajax request, or someone just accessing your this method from the particular URL from typing this method inside your URL. So this is the checking. We are redirecting here. We are setting some error inside the flash data, and we are redirecting here, and we are receiving three values with this value. We are receiving three values from our jQuery, from our ajax call, and we are sending this value to our model named mod add new user. So here is your add new user. We are performing active records or query builder. We are returning the inserted ID. So here we are checking if the inserted ID is successfully received. We are sending this ID to this method, and in this method we are saying please give us the result. Oh, here is give us the result, but in the array format. So we are receiving the result in array format. That's why we are counting. We are using the count method, and when you are receiving the array, so this is your received array, and you are creating another associative array. You are storing these information inside here. Why you are doing this? Because you need an encrypted ID. So that's why we are doing this. You are echoing, because this is the associative array of PHP associative array, and we are converting this associative array into the JSON format. So that's why we are echoing. So that's, you can echo here, and you can fetch these value here because you are echoing here. Okay, so you are fetching these values here, and you are parsing because you are receiving the JSON format. So you are parsing the JSON value into the JavaScript objects, and you are saving the JavaScript object into the conf means this variables, and now you are creating the dynamic content, and you are populating this dynamic content and here. Okay, so you are creating. And what about your update? Whenever you refresh the page, go to your CRUD controller, because it's always you are fetching the results from your control model, and you are sending these values from your view. You have a single view named home, so go to your home view, and you are checking some informations here. If the record is exist, you are performing some for each loop, and you are setting some tr and tds here, and you are setting some dynamic things because you are going to update, and you are performing the update and delete method. Whenever you want to edit the sections, you are creating the dynamic content. Whenever you can update your content, you are updating, you are clicking the update button, so it's also updating the current table which is in the home view, and you are also updating the current table from your database. So you are also updating how update works in your jQuery script. So here is your update sections. You are receiving 3 values with id, checking, performing some if you are checking in if conditions, performing ajax request, sending to the update method with 4 values. Here is your 4 values with update method. Here is your update add user, and here is your update user. So you are checking the ajax sections, and you are receiving values here, and id here, checking, you are performing some checking, and if the all fields are filled by user, you are updating, you are passing the associative array in the first parameter and id in the second parameter. Why you are sending the id? Because you are saying that please update these informations, this information where the id is this, and in the model sections you are updating. Here you are, this is a where clause, and you are updating your values here, and once you have updated value, you are returning true or false. So in this sections, you are checking if the response is true, you are editing, you are updating the form, the HTML table, this table. Okay, so what about delete? Whenever someone hit the delete button, you are performing this script because we have created this script, and you are receiving these 2 values because you need these 2 values. You are performing some validations, calling ajax section, you are just sending the one text field, one encrypted text field. If the response is true, you are deleting the particular row, the dynamic row which you have created in this delete method in CRUD controller. So you are deleting, you are first of all you are checking the ajax request, then you are receiving the value, you are converting the value because it's the encrypted id, and you are sending the id to this method. So go to your model. So here is your method. You are deleting the sections where the id is this. If the id is matched and you have deleted your content, you are fade out the particular record, and your error goes here if your system generates the error. So this is overall what we did, and if you think it's fine, okay, it's fine, otherwise you have to ask anything from any lectures, and you can comment me, you can give me the feedback how it's going, and what you learned in this series, and you can also give us the feedback. Thank you for watching.